The bustling city of Hell, the members of I.M.P were renowned for their unique ability to carry out the most challenging hits with precision and skill. Led by the fiery and sassy Luna, the crew was composed of the sharp-witted Moxie, the charismatic Blitzo, and the powerful Stolas. However, their skills would be put to the ultimate test when they encountered Sharptooth, the unhinged and ferocious T-Rex from the land before time. Sharptooth was a creature of pure rage and destruction, constantly emitting a red glow from his eyes and a foggy mist from his nostrils. His every movement was filled with an aura of danger, his battle experience unmatched by any other creature in Hell. As soon as Sharptooth set his sights on I.M.P, Luna knew that they were in grave danger. The crew attempted to fight back against Sharptooth, but his savage strength and ferocity proved to be too much for them to handle. With a powerful roar, Sharptooth unleashed a wave of energy that shattered the ground beneath them, sending the members of I.M.P flying in all directions. As they struggled to get back on their feet, Sharptooth lunged forward, his jaws snapping shut with a deafening crunch. Moxie, Blitzo, and Stolas all attempted to mount a defense against Sharptooth, but his sheer power and agility were too much for them to handle. With each strike, Sharptooth knocked the teeth out of their mouths, leaving them vulnerable and defenseless. As the battle raged on, Sharptooth's eyes glowed with a vicious intensity, his every move calculated and precise. Luna, the fearless leader of I.M.P, knew that they were facing an opponent unlike any they had ever encountered. With a steely determination in her eyes, she launched herself at Sharptooth, her claws slashing through the air with deadly precision. But even her formidable skills were no match for the savage ferocity of Sharptooth. As Sharptooth continued his onslaught, the members of I.M.P realized that they were fighting a losing battle. With a heavy heart, Luna made the decision to order a retreat, knowing that they could not defeat Sharptooth in their current state. But Sharptooth, sensing victory within his grasp, would not let them escape so easily. With a blood-curdling roar, Sharptooth unleashed a final, devastating wave of energy that sent the members of I.M.P flying in all directions. As they lay battered and broken on the ground, Sharptooth stood victorious, his red eyes gleaming with triumph. In the aftermath of the battle, the city of Hell lay in ruins, the once proud members of I.M.P defeated and broken. Sharptooth, the unstoppable force of nature, stood alone amidst the wreckage, his ferocious gaze fixed on the horizon. As the sun set over the smoldering remains of Hell, Sharptooth let out a triumphant roar, his red eyes glowing with a fierce intensity. And in that moment, the residents of Hell knew that they had encountered a force more powerful and terrifying than anything they had ever seen before. Words. 499. It was a typical day at the office for Luna and the rest of the crew at I.M.P. They were busy going about their usual business of handling clients and carrying out their assignments in the human world. Little did they know that their day was about to take a turn for the worse. Suddenly, the ground began to shake violently as a massive shadow loomed over the office building. Luna and the rest of the crew rushed to the windows to see what was causing the commotion. What they saw was a sight that sent chills down their spines. Sharptooth, the unhinged and ferocious T-Rex from the land before time, was standing outside, his red eyes glowing ominously as he emitted red misty gas from his nostrils, making him even more terrifying and formidable than ever before. Sharptooth let out a deafening roar, causing the windows to shatter and sending everyone in the office into a panic. Without any warning, he unleashed a powerful red energy wave from his roar, shattering the entire crew of I.M.P single-handedly. Luna, Moxie, Blitzo, and the others tried to fight back, but Sharptooth's aggression and battle experience were too much for them to handle. One by one, Sharptooth systematically took down each member of the crew, using his sharp teeth and powerful jaws to tear through them with ease. The red glow in his eyes intensified as he focused on his next target, determined to leave no one alive. Luna, Moxie, and Blitzo stood no chance against the ferocious beast, and soon they too fell victim to his merciless attack. As Sharptooth continued his rampage, he ruthlessly destroyed everything in his path, leaving a trail of destruction in his wake. The once bustling office of I.M.P was now reduced to a pile of rubble, with no survivors left in his wake. Even Stolas, with his powerful magic, was no match for the sheer strength and aggression of Sharptooth. As the dust settled and the chaos subsided, Sharptooth let out one final victorious roar before disappearing into the horizon, leaving behind a scene of devastation and destruction. The residents of Hell were left in shock and disbelief at the carnage that had unfolded before their eyes. From that day on, Sharptooth became a legend in the underworld, a symbol of unbridled ferocity and power that struck fear into the hearts of all who crossed his path. The crew of I.M.P may have been gone, but their memory would forever be etched in the minds of those who witnessed the wrath of Sharptooth, the unhinged T-Rex from Hell. And so, the tale of Sharptooth and his rampage through the underworld would be retold for generations to come, a cautionary tale of what happens when you underestimate the power of true aggression and ferocity. The residents of Hell would never forget the day that Sharptooth came to town, leaving a trail of destruction in his wake and forever changing the course of their lives. In the world of Helluva Boss, Luna and the rest of the I.M.P crew were used to dealing with all kinds of dangerous and unhinged characters. But nothing could have prepared them for the arrival of Sharptooth, the ferocious and aggressive T-Rex from land before time. Sharptooth was unlike anything they had ever encountered before. His red glowing eyes emitted a sinister light, and the foggy misty gas that escaped from his nostrils only added to his terrifying presence. As soon as Sharptooth set his sights on the I.M.P crew, it was clear that they were in for a deadly showdown. Luna, Moxie, and Blitzo tried to stand their ground against Sharptooth, but his battle experience and ferocity far surpassed their own. With a roar that shook the very foundations of hell, Sharptooth unleashed powerful high-energy red waves that shattered the crew members of I.M.P. with ease. Teeth were knocked out, bones were broken, and screams of terror echoed through the air. As Sharptooth continued his rampage, grinding his sharp teeth and exhaling smoke in their faces, the I.M.P. crew realized they were completely outmatched. No amount of firepower or clever tactics could stop the unstoppable force that was Sharptooth. One by one, they fell before his relentless assault, their bodies torn apart by his jaws and claws. Even Stolas, with his dark magic and formidable powers, was no match for Sharptooth's ferocity. The T-Rex's red eyes glowed with aggression as he violently killed Stolas, leaving the once powerful demon in a heap of broken feathers and shattered bones. As the dust settled and the echoes of battle faded away, it was clear that Sharptooth had emerged victorious. The I.M.P. crew lay in ruins, their bodies broken and lifeless. The once vibrant world of hell had been turned into a graveyard of shattered dreams and lost souls. But Sharptooth was not done yet. With a final roar that shook the very heavens, he let out one last burst of red energy, completely obliterating any trace of the helluva boss characters. Even the mighty Hulk, with his green glowing eyes and incredible strength, could do nothing to stop the unstoppable force that was Sharptooth. And so, the world of helluva boss was forever changed by the arrival of Sharptooth, the unhinged T-Rex from land before time. His ferocity, aggression, and sheer power had left a trail of destruction in his wake, and no one would ever forget the day they crossed paths with the most dangerous creature hell had ever seen. Luna stood frozen in fear as she watched Sharptooth, the unhinged and ferocious T-Rex from land before time, unleash his red energy waves at the crew members of I.M.P. His eyes glowing with a dangerous intensity, and the misty red gas emanating from his nostrils only added to his terrifying presence. Sharptooth's battle IQ and agility were far superior to Luna's, and she knew they were no match for him. As Sharptooth effortlessly took down each member of the crew with deadly precision, Luna, Moxie, and Blitzo realized they were facing a foe unlike any they had encountered before. Sharptooth's sheer power and aggression made it clear that they were in grave danger. Desperate to defend themselves, the I.M.P. crew launched a coordinated attack on Sharptooth, but their efforts only seemed to enrage him further. The T-Rex's sharp teeth tore through their defenses, leaving them battered and broken. Luna could only watch in horror as her friends were mercilessly slaughtered before her eyes. But just when all hope seemed lost, a sudden burst of green light caught everyone's attention. The Hulk, the green behemoth from Marvel, had joined the fray. His glowing eyes locked onto Stolas, the owl demon, and with a ferocious roar, he charged forward, intent on destroying his enemy with extreme prejudice. Stolas, caught off guard by the Hulk's sudden appearance, tried to defend himself but found himself quickly overwhelmed by the brute strength and power of the Marvel hero. The Hulk's relentless attacks left Stolas bloodied and broken, his once proud demeanor reduced to a mere shell of his former self. As the dust settled and the chaos subsided, Luna found herself standing amidst the wreckage of her former companions. The ground littered with the broken bodies of her friends, their blood staining the earth a deep crimson. She knew that she was the only one left standing, the lone survivor of the brutal massacre. Tears welled in Luna's eyes as she gazed upon the carnage around her. The loss of her friends weighed heavily on her heart, and the image of Sharptooth's menacing grin haunted her thoughts. She knew that she would never be the same after witnessing such senseless violence and destruction. With a heavy heart, Luna turned and walked away from the battlefield, leaving behind the memories of her fallen comrades. She knew that she would carry their sacrifice with her always, a reminder of the dangers that lurked in the shadows of the world they inhabited. As she made her way into the darkness, Luna vowed to never forget the friends she had lost and to always remember the horrors she had witnessed that fateful day. The memory of Sharptooth's red eyes and ferocious roar would forever be etched into her mind, a reminder of the evil that dwelled in the heart of helluva boss. Words. Luna and the rest of the I.M.P. crew never expected to encounter someone as terrifying and powerful as Sharptooth. The unhinged T-Rex from land before time emitted a red light from his eyes and a foggy mist from his nostrils that made him even more aggressive and ferocious than they could have imagined. As Sharptooth let out a deafening roar, high-energy red waves shot out from his mouth, shattering everything in their path. Luna and her crew members stood frozen in fear as they watched Sharptooth single-handedly take down each member of I.M.P. without any mercy. Moxie and Blitzo attempted to fight back, but Sharptooth's battle IQ and agility were far superior to theirs. With each swipe of his claws and every powerful bite, Sharptooth easily knocked the teeth out of the I.M.P. crew members, leaving them defenseless and vulnerable. Luna tried to use her wit and cunning to outsmart Sharptooth, but his ferocity was unmatched. He ground his sharp teeth together, emitting smoke from his nostrils as he prepared to unleash his red energy waves on them. As Sharptooth made his way to Stolas, the powerful demon from helluva boss, even he couldn't withstand the force of the T-Rex's rage. The Hulk from Marvel joined in the attack, his green glowing eyes focusing solely on Stolas as he smashed him into pieces without any mercy. The entire scene was a bloodbath, with Sharptooth violently killing each member of helluva boss, leaving no one untouched. The once lively crew now lay lifeless on the ground, their bodies mangled and destroyed by the sheer power of Sharptooth and the Hulk. As the dust settled, Luna realized the true extent of Sharptooth's power. She knew that they were no match for him, and that their only hope now was to escape and regroup before facing him again. With a heavy heart, Luna turned away from the destruction and ran, her eyes filled with a new sense of fear and respect for the unhinged T-Rex known as Sharktooth. She knew that they would have to be smarter and stronger if they ever hoped to defeat him and survive in this new, dangerous world they found themselves in. The battle was lost, but the war was far from over. Words. 379. Regenerate. Luna, shocked. What in the hell is that thing? Sharktooth. Roaring, I am Sharktooth, the unhinged terror of the land before time. You dare challenge me? Blitzo. Nervously, we didn't mean to, we just stumbled upon you. Sharktooth. Growling, silence. You will pay for your intrusion with your lives. Moxie. Frantically, we need to get out of here. This thing is a monster. Sharktooth. Snarling, there is no escape from me. I will destroy you all. Luna. Trying to remain calm, we can take him, guys. We just need to come up with a plan. Sharktooth. Laughing menacingly, your plans are useless against me. I am the ultimate predator. Blitzo. Desperately, we have to do something, we can't just let him kill us. Sharktooth. Charging up his red energy waves, prepare to meet your end, fools. Luna. Determined, no way are we going down without a fight. Let's show this overgrown lizard what we're made of. As Sharktooth unleashed his powerful energy waves, the crew of I.M.P sprang into action, dodging and weaving to avoid being hit. Luna used her agility to get up close to Sharktooth, trying to find a weak spot to exploit. But Sharktooth was relentless, using his ferocious battle IQ to anticipate their moves and counter them with deadly precision. He swiped at Moxie and Blitzo with his razor-sharp teeth, knocking them down with ease. Blitzo. Struggling, we can't beat him head-on. We need to come up with a different strategy. Luna. Thinking quickly, I have an idea, but we need to lure him into a trap. Moxie. Panting, what kind of trap? Luna. Smirking, just trust me. Blitzo. Distract him while Moxie sets it up. Blitzo bravely faced off against Sharktooth, taunting him and drawing his attention away from Luna and Moxie. Meanwhile, Moxie was busy setting up a makeshift net made of vines and branches, hoping it would be enough to trap the ferocious T-Rex. As Sharktooth lunged at Blitzo, Luna signaled for Moxie to activate the trap. With a quick pull of a rope, the net sprung up and entangled Sharktooth, immobilizing him for a moment. Luna. Grinning, now's our chance. Blitzo. Hit him with everything you've got. Blitzo summoned all his courage and unleashed a barrage of attacks on Sharktooth, trying to weaken him and bring him down. Moxie joined in, launching powerful energy blasts at the trapped T-Rex. Sharktooth roared in anger, trying to break free from the net, but the combined efforts of the I.M.P crew were too much for him. With a final, forceful blow, they managed to knock him out cold. Luna. Breathing heavily, we did it, guys. We took down Sharktooth. Blitzo. Proudly, I knew we could do it. We make a great team. Moxie. Smiling, yeah, we showed that overgrown lizard who's boss. But just as they were celebrating their victory, Sharktooth suddenly woke up, his red eyes glowing with rage once more. Sharktooth. Snarling, you may have defeated me this time, but I will return stronger than ever. You have not seen the last of Sharktooth. And with that ominous warning, the ferocious T-Rex vanished into the shadows, leaving the I.M.P crew shaken but victorious. They may have survived the encounter with Sharktooth, but they knew that he would always be a threat lurking in the darkness, ready to strike again. Words. 564. Luna, Moxie, and Blitzo had been hired for their latest hit, but what they didn't expect was to come face to face with Sharktooth, the unhinged and ferocious T-Rex from land before time. As they stood there, staring at the massive dinosaur with glowing red eyes and emitting a foggy, misty gas from his nostrils, Luna knew they were in for a tough fight. I think we might have bitten off more than we can chew, guys, Luna stammered, eyeing Sharktooth warily. Moxie gulped nervously, his hands shaking as he readied his weapon. Yeah, no kidding. This guy looks like he means business. Blitzo smirked, trying to mask his own fear. Well, what's life without a little danger, right? Let's show this oversized lizard what we're made of. But before they could even make a move, Sharktooth let out a deafening roar, sending powerful red waves of energy rippling through the air. The impact was so strong that it knocked the teeth out of every crew member of I.M.P, leaving them reeling in pain. Luna gritted her teeth, her eyes narrowing as she glared at Sharktooth. All right, you oversized reptile, let's dance. But as she lunged forward, Sharktooth was ready for her. He effortlessly dodged her attacks, his battle IQ and agility far surpassing hers. With a swift motion, he chomped down violently, instantly killing Luna and Blitzo. Moxie cried out in horror, his heart pounding in his chest. No, this can't be happening. But Sharktooth was not done yet. He turned his attention to Moxie, his red eyes glowing with ferocity as he prepared to strike. With a menacing grin, he lunged forward, his jaws snapping shut with deadly precision. As Moxie's body fell to the ground, lifeless and still, Sharktooth let out a roar of victory. He had single-handedly destroyed the entire crew of I.M.P without mercy, leaving no one alive. In the aftermath, as the dust settled and the red mist cleared, Sharktooth stood tall and proud, his teeth stained with the blood of his enemies. The once lively and vibrant crew of I.M.P. lay motionless before him, their bodies broken and torn. And as Sharptooth let out one final roar, a chilling reminder of his terrifying power, the world around him fell silent. The only sound that filled the air was the echo of his victory, a victory that came at a heavy price. The air was thick with tension as Luna and the rest of the I.M.P. crew found themselves face to face with Sharptooth, the unhinged and ferocious T-Rex from land before time. His red eyes glowed with anger and his nostrils emitted a foggy misty gas that only served to make him more terrifying. This is bad, Moxie whispered, eyes wide with fear as he glanced over at the massive dinosaur that stood before them. Ya think? Blitzo shot back, his voice laced with sarcasm as he clutched his gun tightly in his hands. Guys, we need to come up with a plan, Luna said, trying to keep her voice steady despite the fear that crept up inside her. But before they could even begin to strategize, Sharptooth let out a deafening roar that shook the ground beneath them. High-energy red waves burst forth from his mouth, shattering buildings and sending the crew members of I.M.P. flying in all directions. Luna tried to stand, her head spinning from the impact of the blast. But before she could even catch her breath, Sharptooth was upon her, his sharp teeth gnashing as he lunged towards her. She raised her arms in a futile attempt to defend herself, but it was no use. Sharptooth's jaws closed around her, his red eyes flashing with triumph as he bit down with all his might. The sound of crunching bones filled the air as Luna's body went limp in Sharptooth's grasp. Moxie and Blitzo watched in horror as their friend was torn apart before their very eyes. Enough! Blitzo shouted, his voice trembling with anger as he raised his gun and fired at Sharptooth. But the T-Rex only roared in response, the bullets bouncing harmlessly off his thick scales. Sharptooth turned his attention towards the remaining members of I.M.P., his red eyes blazing with bloodlust. He charged towards them, his massive form causing the ground to shake with each step. Moxie's heart pounded in his chest as he tried to think of a way out of this nightmare. We can't let him get to us, he said, his voice barely above a whisper. But before they could make a move, Sharptooth was upon them. His teeth glinted in the dim light as he lunged towards them, his jaws snapping shut just inches from Blitzo's face. Run! Blitzo screamed, his voice filled with terror as he grabbed Moxie's hand and pulled him towards the nearest building. They ran as fast as they could, but Sharptooth was hot on their heels. His red eyes burned with rage as he chased them, his massive form towering over them like a colossus. Just when they thought they were safe, Sharptooth let out another deafening roar. Shockwaves burst forth from his red glowing eyes, sending them flying through the air and crashing into the ground with bone-jarring force. Please, no! Moxie begged, his voice filled with desperation as he tried to crawl away from the advancing T-Rex. But it was too late. Sharptooth was upon them, his jaws closing around them with a sickening crunch. Moxie and Blitzo's screams echoed through the night as they were torn apart by the unhinged dinosaur. As the dust settled, Sharptooth stood alone in the wreckage, his red eyes gleaming with satisfaction. He had destroyed the I.M.P. crew single-handedly, leaving no one alive to tell the tale. And as the red mist cleared, Sharptooth let out a triumphant roar that echoed through the desolate streets. He was the king of the land, the undisputed master of all he surveyed. And woe betide anyone who dared to challenge him again. Words. Stop. The air was thick with tension as Luna and the rest of the I.M.P. crew found themselves face to face with the unhinged Sharptooth, the ferocious T-Rex from land before time. Sharptooth's red eyes glowed with an otherworldly intensity, and his nostrils emitted a thick, red fog that seemed to cloud the minds of those around him. Who is this guy? Moxie stammered, fear evident in his voice as he took in Sharptooth's imposing figure. He looks like bad news, Blitzo muttered, clutching his weapon tightly as he eyed Sharptooth warily. But before they could make a move, Sharptooth let out a deafening roar that shook the very ground beneath their feet. High-energy red waves shot out from his mouth, shattering everything in their path and sending the I.M.P. crew members flying backwards. Stay back! Luna shouted, trying to rally her team as Sharptooth advanced towards them, his sharp teeth gleaming in the dim light. But Sharptooth was too fast, too aggressive. In a matter of minutes, he had decimated the entire crew, knocking the teeth out of their mouths and leaving them battered and broken on the ground. Please, mercy! Moxie gasped, blood trickling from his mouth as he reached out a trembling hand towards Sharptooth. But the T-Rex showed no mercy. With a vicious snarl, he chomped down on Moxie's head, crushing it in his jaws and ending the demon's life in an instant. No, no! Luna cried out, tears in her eyes as she watched her friends fall one by one to Sharptooth's relentless onslaught. But just as all hope seemed lost, a new player entered the scene. The Hulk, his green eyes glowing with an intense fury, stepped forward to face Sharptooth head-on. I will not let you harm my friends, the Hulk growled, his voice shaking the very ground beneath them. Sharptooth snarled in response, his red eyes narrowing as he assessed this new threat. With a sudden burst of energy, he lunged at the Hulk, his jaws snapping shut with a deafening crack. But the Hulk was too strong, too powerful. With a mighty roar, he grabbed Sharptooth by the neck and lifted him off the ground, his hands squeezing with an iron grip that seemed to constrict the very air around them. You will fall, beast, the Hulk bellowed, his voice echoing through the clearing as he squeezed harder and harder, determined to end this battle once and for all. And with a final, bone-crushing twist, Sharptooth went limp in the Hulk's grasp, his red eyes fading to black as he succumbed to the overwhelming strength of his opponent. The battle was over. The I.M.P. crew lay scattered and broken on the ground, their bodies battered and bruised from the ferocious fight. But they had emerged victorious, thanks to the bravery and strength of the Hulk. As they gathered their fallen comrades and prepared to leave, Luna looked back at the now lifeless body of Sharktooth, a sense of sadness and respect in her eyes. Rest in peace, you unhinged beast, she whispered, a single tear slipping down her cheek as she turned away and walked off into the night, the sounds of battle fading into the distance behind her. Words. 5. It was a dark and stormy night in the underworld, where the members of I.M.P. were on a mission to take out a particularly troublesome target. Luna, the fiery succubus, led the team with confidence, but little did they know they were about to encounter their most dangerous foe yet. As they ventured deeper into the dark and eerie landscape, they heard a deafening roar that sent chills down their spines. Emerging from the shadows was Sharktooth, the unhinged and ferocious T-Rex from land before time. His eyes glowed a menacing red, and he emitted a foggy misty gas from his nostrils that made him even more intimidating. Luna and her crew tried to attack Sharktooth, but his battle experience and agility were far superior. Sharktooth swiftly knocked out the teeth of every member of I.M.P. with a single swipe of his powerful jaws, leaving them wounded and vulnerable. Who is this monster? Blitzo gasped, trying to stand up despite the pain. That's Sharktooth, the most dangerous predator in the underworld, Luna explained, her voice filled with fear. We need to take him down before he destroys us all. But Sharktooth was relentless, emitting powerful red energy waves from his roar that shattered the ground beneath them. He took out each member of I.M.P. with ruthless efficiency, leaving no one standing. Moxie tried to reason with Sharktooth, but the T-Rex's red eyes glowed with rage as he focused on his next target. He chomped down violently, ending Moxie's life in an instant. Blitzo tried to flee, but Sharktooth's ferocious teeth quickly caught up to him. With a swift motion, Sharktooth devoured Blitzo, leaving nothing but a pool of blood in his wake. Luna, the last one standing, knew she had to act quickly. She summoned all her demonic powers, trying to take down Sharktooth with brute force. But the T-Rex was too powerful, grinding his teeth and exhaling smoke in her face. As Sharktooth closed in on her, Luna felt a surge of fear and desperation. She knew this was the end, that she would not escape the wrath of Sharktooth. Just as all hope seemed lost, a new figure appeared on the scene. It was the Hulk from Marvel, his green eyes glowing with aggression. He focused all his energy on Stolas, the demon prince, and began to smash him into oblivion without mercy. The Hulk's strength was overwhelming, and Stolas stood no chance against him. The demon prince was torn apart in a matter of seconds, his screams echoing through the underworld. Sharktooth, impressed by the Hulk's power, focused his attention on taking out Luna once and for all. He emitted shockwaves from his red eyes, permanently sealing her fate. With a final roar, Sharktooth unleashed his full potential, destroying every member of I.M.P. without mercy. The underworld fell silent, their bodies lying lifeless on the ground. As the dust settled, the Hulk and Sharktooth stood victorious, having eliminated their enemies with ruthless efficiency. The underworld would never be the same again, forever changed by the battle that had taken place. And so, the legend of Sharktooth and the Hulk from Marvel was born, a tale of power, aggression, and ultimate destruction that would be told for eternity. Words. Stop. As the red mist seeped from Sharktooth's nostrils, Luna could feel the tension in the air. As the red mist seeped from Sharktooth's nostrils, Luna could feel the tension in the air. She knew this was not going to be an easy battle. All right, you oversized lizard, she sneered, trying to hide her fear. Let's dance. Sharktooth let out a menacing roar, causing the ground to shake beneath them. His red eyes glowed with fury as he prepared to unleash his full power on the unsuspecting crew of I.M.P. Luna knew they were in for a rough ride. Stay back, guys, Luna warned Blitzo and Moxie, who were bracing themselves for the fight ahead. This one's a tough nut to crack. But before she could finish her sentence, Sharktooth lunged forward, his jaw snapping shut just inches from Luna's face. Blitzo and Moxie jumped into action, trying to distract Sharktooth from his target. But the ferocious T-Rex was too quick, too experienced in battle. He easily dodged their attacks and focused all of his attention on Luna. With a swift movement, Sharktooth knocked the teeth out of Blitzo and Moxie, leaving them defenseless against his relentless assault. Luna knew she had to act quickly if they were going to stand a chance against Sharktooth. Focus your attacks on his eyes. She shouted to her comrades, hoping to blind the beast and gain the upper hand. But Sharktooth seemed to anticipate their every move, his battle IQ far surpassing their own. As he emitted powerful red energy waves from his roar, Luna could feel the ground crumbling beneath her. She knew they were no match for Sharktooth's sheer power and aggression. But she refused to back down without a fight. With a fierce determination, Luna charged at Sharktooth, her claws extended and ready for battle. But the T-Rex was one step ahead, easily swatting her away with a single blow. She hit the ground hard, feeling the breath knocked out of her. As she struggled to regain her footing, Sharktooth turned his attention to Moxie and Blitzo, who were trying their best to regroup and come up with a plan. But Sharktooth was relentless, his red eyes glowing brighter with each passing moment. In a desperate attempt to turn the tide of the battle, Luna let out a terrifying roar of her own, hoping to intimidate Sharktooth and gain the upper hand. But the T-Rex was unfazed, his red energy waves overpowering her own. As Sharktooth continued his rampage, Luna could see the fear in Blitzo and Moxie's eyes. They were outmatched, outgunned, and facing certain defeat. But Luna refused to give up without a fight. With one final burst of energy, Luna launched herself at Sharktooth, her claws scraping against his armored skin. But even her strongest attacks were no match for the T-Rex's sheer power. As Sharktooth let out a victorious roar, the ground shook beneath them, signaling the end of the battle. The crew of I.M.P. had been defeated, their bodies scattered across the battlefield, their hopes dashed by the ferocious and unforgiving beast known as Sharktooth. Words, 510. As the I.M.P. members from Helluva Boss animated show engaged in a fierce battle with their opponent, their different abilities clashing in a spectacular display of power, a sudden bolt of lightning struck the floor with a deafening strike. Through the smoke and haze, a figure emerged with glowing green eyes that gleamed with a terrifying intensity. It was none other than the Hulk from Marvel. Who dares challenge the Hulk? His voice boomed with raw power, sending shivers down the spines of the I.M.P. crew members. Blitzo, the leader of the group, stepped forward, trying to maintain his composure in the face of such overwhelming strength. We are the I.M.P., and we will not be intimidated by you, Hulk. We have faced countless foes and emerged victorious. You will be no different. Hulk's eyes narrowed as he glared at Blitzo, his muscles bulging with rage. Without a word, he unleashed a gamma-powered clap that sent shockwaves rippling through the building, shattering walls and ceilings in its wake. The green energy wave spread rapidly, engulfing everything in its path. The I.M.P. crew members scrambled to defend themselves, using their powers to try and counter the sheer force of the Hulk's attack. Moxie shot bullets from his gun, Millie transformed into a fearsome beast, and Luna conjured dark magic to try and subdue their colossal foe. But it was all in vain. Hulk's fury only seemed to grow with each passing moment, fueling his strength and power beyond measure. With a mighty roar, he unleashed another gamma clap that obliterated the building in a massive explosion, leaving nothing but a smoldering crater in its wake. As the dust settled, the I.M.P. crew members lay defeated, their bodies broken and battered. Hulk stood victorious, his green form towering over the wreckage, a living testament to his unstoppable might. You are no match for the Hulk, he said in a chilling tone. I am the strongest there is, and none can stand against me. And with that, Hulk turned and disappeared into the night, leaving behind a scene of destruction and devastation. The I.M.P. members were no more, their once formidable team shattered by the sheer force of the Hulk's wrath. In the aftermath of the battle, the world would tremble at the thought of crossing paths with the unstoppable force that was the Hulk. And as for the I.M.P. crew members, their legacy would live on as a cautionary tale of the dangers of underestimating the power of a gamma-powered monster. Word. The day started like any other for the members of the I.M.P. crew from the animated show Helluva Boss. They were out on a mission, using their unique abilities to take down their opponents with ease. Blitzo was using his marksmanship skills, Moxie was casting spells with his magic, Millie was taking down enemies with her brute strength, and Luna was using her shape-shifting abilities to outmaneuver their foes. But suddenly, without warning, a deafening strike of lightning hit the floor with a blinding flash. Through the smoke and rubble emerged a terrifying figure with glowing green eyes, the Incredible Hulk from Marvel. The I.M.P. crew had heard of the Hulk's legendary strength, but they never imagined they would come face to face with him. As the I.M.P. crew tried to rally together to take down the Hulk, their attacks only seemed to anger him even further. The Hulk's gamma-powered clap sent shockwaves of green energy rippling through the building, instantly blowing away everything in its path. The entire building crumbled around them, leaving no one alive in one go. The I.M.P. crew members were no match for the Hulk's sheer strength and ferocity. The Hulk's rage seemed never-ending as he continued to unleash his gamma-powered attacks, reducing everything in his path to rubble. Blitzo, Moxie, Millie, and Luna fought valiantly, but they were no match for the overwhelming power of the Hulk. One by one, the I.M.P. crew members fell to the Hulk's relentless onslaught. The building was engulfed in flames as the Hulk's green energy waves wreaked havoc on everything in sight. The once formidable team was now scattered and defeated, no match for the unstoppable force that was the Incredible Hulk. As the dust settled and the flames died down, the Hulk stood victorious amidst the destruction he had caused. The I.M.P. crew lay defeated at his feet, their bodies broken and battered. The Hulk's green eyes glowed with a fierce intensity as he surveyed the wreckage around him. In the end, the Incredible Hulk had reigned supreme, shattering all members of the I.M.P. crew with his unmatched strength and power. The once proud team of mercenaries had been no match for the might of the Hulk, and now they lay defeated and broken, their fate sealed by the gamma-powered force of their supernatural foe. The events of that fateful day would go down in history as one of the most brutal battles ever fought, a clash of titans that had left nothing but destruction in its wake. The Hulk had proved himself to be a force of nature, a being of incredible power and ferocity that could not be tamed or controlled. And as the smoke cleared and the rubble settled, the Hulk stood alone amidst the ruins, a solitary figure in a landscape of devastation. The I.M.P. crew was no more, their once formidable team reduced to nothing but ash and memories. The Incredible Hulk had emerged victorious, his green eyes glowing with a primal intensity as he prepared to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Words, 518. It was just another typical day for the I.M.P. crew as they found themselves inside a mysterious building, facing off against a group of formidable opponents. As Blitzo, Moxie, Millie, and Luna unleashed their various abilities, the room was filled with chaos and fury. Blitzo fired his gun with deadly accuracy, Moxie summoned demonic creatures to do his bidding, Millie wielded her sharp blades with precision, and Luna used her teleportation powers to outmaneuver their enemies. The I.M.P. crew fought with all their might, determined to emerge victorious. But suddenly, without warning, a lightning strike hit the floor with a deafening roar. The room was engulfed in a blinding light, and when the smoke cleared, a towering figure with glowing green eyes emerged from the mist. It was the Hulk, the unstoppable force from Marvel Comics. The I.M.P. crew looked on in horror as the Hulk's massive form loomed over them, his muscles bulging with raw power. Blitzo, ever the confident leader, tried to rally his team. All right, team, let's take this big green brute down. He shouted, but the Hulk only growled in response, his eyes burning with rage. Moxie fired his gun at the Hulk, but the bullets bounced off his impenetrable skin. Millie leapt at him with her blades, but he swatted her aside like a mere insect. Luna tried to teleport behind him, but he anticipated her move and grabbed her mid-teleport. The Hulk's anger only seemed to grow with each failed attempt to stop him. With a roar that shook the building to its foundations, he unleashed his gamma-powered clap. A shockwave of green energy rippled through the room, destroying everything in its path. The I.M.P. crew found themselves powerless against the sheer force of the Hulk's attack. The building crumbled around them, the walls collapsing in on themselves as the fireball consumed everything in its path. Blitzo, Moxie, Millie, and Luna tried to escape the devastation, but it was futile. The Hulk had proven himself to be an unstoppable force of nature, and the I.M.P. crew was no match for him. As the smoke cleared and the dust settled, the Hulk stood victorious amidst the wreckage of the building. His green eyes glowed with triumph as he surveyed the destruction he had wrought. The I.M.P. crew lay scattered on the ground, their bodies broken and lifeless. The Hulk had emerged from out of nowhere, a harbinger of destruction, and had decimated them all with a single clap of his hands. And as the sun set on the smoldering ruins of the building, the Hulk stood tall, a silent reminder of the awesome power he wielded. The I.M.P. crew had been defeated, their hopes dashed by the unstoppable force of the green behemoth. And so, the Hulk from Marvel reigned supreme, his sheer strength and ferocity leaving no doubt in anyone's mind that he was a force to be reckoned with. The I.M.P. crew had underestimated him, and now they paid the ultimate price for their folly. The Hulk had emerged victorious, his green eyes glowing with a chilling intensity as he stood alone amidst the destruction he had wrought. The I.M.P. crew members from Helluva Boss were in the midst of a heated battle with a mysterious opponent inside a dark, dingy room. Luna was using her quick agility to dodge attacks, while Blitzo was firing off rounds with his pistol. Moxie and Millie were fighting side by side, using their respective demon powers to take down their foe. However, just as they were gaining the upper hand, a blinding flash of lightning struck the floor, followed by a deafening thunderclap. As the smoke cleared, a towering figure with glowing green eyes emerged from the fog. It was the Hulk, the unstoppable force from Marvel Comics. His massive form cast a shadow over the room, and his expression was one of pure rage. The members of I.M.P. realized they were outmatched as they tried to rally their attacks against the behemoth standing before them. Hulk roared in anger as he unleashed his gamma-powered clap, sending shockwaves of energy rippling through the building. The force of the blast was overwhelming, and the entire structure crumbled around them. The I.M.P. crew members were no match for the Hulk's sheer strength and ferocity as he continued to unleash his devastating attacks. Blitzo tried to reason with the Hulk, but his words fell on deaf ears. The green giant was consumed by his rage, and he showed no mercy as he tore through the members of I.M.P. with ease. Moxie and Millie fought bravely, but they too were no match for the Hulk's unstoppable power. As the dust settled, the Hulk stood alone amidst the ruins of the building. His eyes glowed with a fierce intensity as he surveyed the destruction he had wrought. The I.M.P. crew members lay defeated at his feet, their bodies broken and lifeless. Hulk let out a triumphant roar, his victory complete. He had decimated the I.M.P. crew without mercy, leaving no survivors in his wake. The once proud demon assassins were no match for the raw power of the Hulk. As the authorities arrived on the scene, they found nothing but rubble and devastation. The Hulk was nowhere to be found, having vanished as quickly as he had appeared. The I.M.P. crew members were mourned by those who knew them, but their demise served as a grim reminder of the unstoppable force that was the Hulk. And so, the tale of the I.M.P. crew's downfall at the hands of the Hulk became a cautionary legend among the Monken, a story of the dangers that lurked in the shadows for those who dared to challenge the might of a gamma-powered beast. Words, 435. The I.M.P. crew members from Helluva were in the midst of a heated battle in a dimly lit room, using their unique abilities to take down their opponents. Luna was using her swift moves, Blitzo was using his sharp wit, Moxie was using his precision attacks, and Millie was using her brute strength. The fight was intense, with sparks flying and energy crackling in the air. Suddenly, a blinding lightning strike hit the floor with a deafening roar. The room was filled with smoke and the scent of ozone as a figure emerged from the fog. It was none other than the Incredible Hulk from Marvel, his green eyes glowing with terrifying power. The I.M.P. crew members, caught off guard by the sudden appearance of the Hulk, tried to fight back with all their might. They attacked him with all they had, but it only seemed to anger him even further. The Hulk's rage knew no bounds as he unleashed his gamma-powered clap, sending shockwaves of green energy across the entire building. The force of the blast was unparalleled, instantly blowing away the walls and ceilings of the building, leaving nothing but destruction in its wake. The I.M.P. crew members were overpowered by the sheer strength and ferocity of the Hulk, who seemed to grow more powerful with each passing moment. As the dust settled, the Hulk stood tall amidst the rubble, his green muscles rippling with power. He looked down at the defeated I.M.P. crew members with a sense of triumph in his eyes. With a mighty roar, he unleashed another devastating gamma clap, causing the entire building to erupt into a massive fireball. The flames consumed everything in its path, leaving nothing but charred remains and a lingering sense of dread. The I.M.P. crew members had been completely obliterated by the Hulk's unstoppable might, their bodies torn and broken beyond recognition. As the smoke cleared and the flames died down, the Hulk stood amongst the ruins, a lone figure bathed in the glow of the dying embers. His green eyes burned with a fierce intensity as he surveyed the destruction he had caused. The Hulk from Marvel had completely decimated the I.M.P. crew members without mercy, his immense strength and power unmatched by any foe. As he turned and walked away from the smoldering wreckage, the echoes of his gamma-infused clap reverberated through the empty streets, a chilling reminder of the destruction he was capable of. In the end, the I.M.P. crew members had met their match in the form of the unstoppable force that was the Hulk. Their valiant efforts had been in vain, their abilities no match for the sheer brute strength of one of the most powerful beings in the universe. And as the night fell and the city lay in ruins, only the sound of distant sirens and the crackling of flames remained, a haunting reminder of the power of the Incredible Hulk. The I.M.P. crew members had paid the ultimate price for their hubris, their fate sealed by the gamma-powered fury of their formidable foe. Words. As the dust settled and the smoke cleared, the I.M.P. members found themselves face to face with the monstrous Hulk. His muscles bulged with an almost otherworldly strength, his eyes glowed with a fierce green light, and his breathing was heavy and labored. Blitzo, the leader of the I.M.P. crew, immediately stepped forward, trying to reason with the Hulk. Who the hell are you, and what do you want? Blitzo demanded, his voice filled with bravado despite the fear that gripped his heart. Hulk simply growled in response, his fists clenched tightly at his sides. Luna, always quick on the uptake, stepped forward with a smirk on her face. Big guy, huh? Well, let me show you what real power looks like, she taunted, her eyes flashing with confidence. With a flick of her wrist, Luna conjured a ball of dark energy, ready to unleash it on the Hulk. But before she could even make a move, Hulk let out a deafening roar and slammed his fists together, creating a shockwave of gamma energy that knocked Luna off her feet. Damn it, Luna. We need to work together to take this guy down, Millie shouted, her dual pistols at the ready. But before they could formulate a plan, Hulk lunged forward, his massive fists swinging with deadly accuracy. Stryker, the resident muscle of the I.M.P. crew, stepped forward to meet the challenge, his own strength matching the Hulk's blow for blow. The sounds of their battle echoed through the crumbling building, each punch and kick sending shockwaves of energy rippling through the air. But no matter how hard they fought, the Hulk seemed unstoppable, his rage fueling his every move. As the fight raged on, the I.M.P. crew began to realize the gravity of their situation. This was no ordinary opponent they were facing, this was a force of nature, a primal force of destruction that could not be stopped. We need to retreat, regroup, and come up with a new plan, Blitzo shouted over the din of battle, his voice filled with urgency. But before they could make their escape, Hulk let out another mighty roar and unleashed a devastating gamma-powered clap that obliterated the entire building in a blinding flash of green light. As the dust settled and the wreckage smoldered around them, the I.M.P. crew lay battered and beaten, their bodies bruised and broken. Hulk stood in the center of the destruction, his breathing heavy and labored, his eyes still glowing with a terrifying intensity. You may have tried to stop me, but in the end, I am always the one who reigns supreme, Hulk growled, his voice filled with a deep-seated rage. And with that final declaration, Hulk turned and vanished into the night, leaving behind a trail of destruction and despair. The I.M.P. crew lay in silence, their bodies broken but their spirits unbroken, ready to rise from the ashes and fight another day. As the smoke began to clear, the once bustling building that housed the I.M.P. crew was now reduced to rubble. The powerful gamma clap of the Hulk had decimated everything in its path, leaving nothing but destruction in its wake. Damn it all. Blitz, the leader of the I.M.P. crew, cursed as he looked around at the devastation. How the hell are we supposed to fight against someone like that? Stella, the resident sharpshooter of the group, shook her head in disbelief. I never thought we'd come up against someone with that much power. This is insane. As they surveyed the wreckage, they heard a deep, menacing laughter echoing through the ruins. The Hulk emerged from the smoke, his muscles bulging and his eyes glowing with a fierce green light. You puny little insects thought you could challenge me. Hulk bellowed, his voice reverberating through the remnants of the building. You're nothing but mere ants compared to my strength. Luna, the resident hellhound of the group, jumped to her feet, her claws extended. We may be small, but we sure as hell won't go down without a fight. Blitz gritted his teeth and nodded. All right, team, let's show this monster what we're made of. We may not have the same strength as him, but we have skill and strategy on our side. The I.M.P crew sprang into action, each member using their unique abilities to attack the Hulk from all sides. However, no matter how hard they fought, they couldn't seem to make a dent in the Hulk's impenetrable skin. Is this guy invincible? Moxie, the resident sharp-tongued member of the group, shouted as he fired shot after shot at the Hulk to no avail. The Hulk let out a booming laugh as he easily brushed off their attacks. You think you can defeat me? You're nothing but flies buzzing around me. Blitz clenched his fists, determination shining in his eyes. We may be outmatched, but we won't give up. We'll find a way to take him down, no matter what it takes. Just as they were about to regroup and come up with a new plan of attack, the Hulk's eyes began to glow even brighter. The air crackled with energy as he prepared to unleash another powerful gamma clap. Look out! Stella shouted as she pushed her teammates out of the way just in time as the Hulk unleashed his devastating attack. The gamma wave rippled through the air, tearing through everything in its path. The force of the explosion sent the I.M.P crew flying, their bodies crashing against the debris of the ruined building. As they struggled to get back to their feet, the Hulk loomed over them, his presence casting a long shadow over their battered forms. You may have put up a good fight, but in the end, you're no match for me, Hulk growled, his voice dripping with arrogance. But just as it seemed like all hope was lost, Blitz pulled out a small, glowing orb from his pocket. With a determined look in his eyes, he threw it at the Hulk, causing a blinding flash of light to envelop the area. When the light faded, the Hulk was nowhere to be seen. In his place stood a confused and disoriented Bruce Banner, his eyes wide with shock. What just happened? Bruce stammered, looking around at the destruction around him. Blitz stepped forward, a triumphant smile on his face. We may not have been able to defeat the Hulk physically, but we found a way to outsmart him. That orb contained a powerful sedative that knocked him out cold. As Bruce Banner slumped to the ground, unconscious, the I.M.P crew let out a cheer of victory. They may have been outmatched in strength, but their wit and teamwork had saved the day. And so, as they stood amidst the wreckage of their former headquarters, the members of I.M.P knew that no matter what challenges came their way, they would always find a way to come out on top. Words, 600. As the smoke cleared, the I.M.P. crew found themselves face to face with the raging Hulk. Blitzo, the leader of the crew, stepped forward, trying to reason with the giant green monster. Blitzo, hey big guy, we don't want any trouble. We're just here to do our job. But Hulk's eyes only glowed brighter, his anger intensifying with every passing moment. Moxie, the sharpshooter of the crew, aimed his gun at Hulk, ready to defend his friends. Moxie, if you want a fight, you've got one. Let's take him down, guys. Stolas, the eccentric owl demon, used his dark magic to try and subdue the Hulk, but nothing seemed to faze the gamma-powered beast. Luna, the youngest member of the crew, summoned her demonic powers, ready to unleash hell on their opponent. Luna, I'll show him what happens when you mess with the I.M.P. crew. The battle raged on, with the I.M.P. crew doing everything in their power to take down the Hulk. But the more they fought, the stronger the Hulk became. His gamma-powered thunderclap sent shockwaves throughout the room, shaking the very foundation of the building. Blitzo, we need to come up with a plan, and fast. This guy is not going down without a fight. Suddenly, Hellhound, the newest member of the crew, had an idea. She transformed into her demonic form, a giant, fire-breathing beast ready to take on the Hulk. Hellhound, let's see how he likes a taste of his own medicine. With a fierce roar, Hellhound charged at the Hulk, unleashing a torrent of flames that engulfed the green monster. But even that was not enough to stop the Hulk's rampage. Hulk smash. With a mighty roar, the Hulk unleashed his gamma clap, sending shockwaves throughout the building. The force of the blast was so powerful that it blew the entire building to pieces, leaving nothing but rubble in its wake. As the dust settled, the I.M.P. crew found themselves standing amidst the destruction, battered and bruised but alive. Blitzo, well, that didn't go as planned. But hey, we're still alive, right? Moxie, I don't know about you guys, but I think I need a drink after that. Stolas, I must say, that was quite exhilarating. I do love a good challenge. Luna, I'll say. That Hulk guy was no joke. But we managed to survive, like always. Hellhound, I guess you could say we're a helluva crew, huh? And with that, the I.M.P. crew dusted themselves off and prepared to face whatever challenges came their way. Because when you're from hell, nothing can stand in your way. Words, 400. The I.M.P. crew from the Helluva Boss animated show had taken on many opponents in various rooms using their unique abilities, but nothing could have prepared them for what was about to happen next. As they navigated through a particularly dimly lit room, a thick cloud of smoke suddenly enveloped them, obscuring their vision. What the hell is going on? Blitzo exclaimed, coughing and waving his hand in front of his face. Before any of them could react, a massive figure emerged from the smoke, his green glowing eyes piercing through the haze. It was the Hulk, and he looked more enraged than ever. Oh crap, it's the Hulk. Moxie yelled, fear evident in his voice. As the Hulk charged towards them, the I.M.P. crew knew they had to act fast. They spread out, each using their unique abilities to try and take down the gamma-powered beast. Helluva time to fight a literal goddamn monster. Millie shouted, firing her pistols at the Hulk. Stolas swooped down from above, trying to distract the Hulk with his demonic powers. Meanwhile, Luna used her shapeshifting abilities to try and confuse the massive green behemoth. But no matter what they tried, nothing seemed to faze the Hulk. In fact, the more they fought back, the more enraged he became. His green eyes started to glow even brighter, a sign that he was about to unleash his full power. Oh no, this can't be good, Blitzo muttered, watching as the Hulk started to charge up his gamma-powered thunderclap. As the Hulk unleashed his massive shockwave, the entire building shook with the force of it. The windows shattered, the walls cracked, and the ground beneath them trembled. The I.M.P. crew struggled to keep their footing as they were buffeted by the sheer force of the Hulk's attack. Everyone, get down. Moxie yelled, trying to shield himself and his teammates from the onslaught. But it was no use. The Hulk's gamma clap was too powerful, too destructive. In a matter of seconds, the entire building exploded into a blazing inferno of fireballs and debris. The sound was deafening, the heat intense. When the dust finally settled, the I.M.P. crew found themselves scattered among the ruins. They were battered and bruised, but miraculously, they were all still alive. What the hell just happened? Millie gasped, looking around at the devastation. It looks like the Hulk just wiped out the entire building, Blitzo said, his voice filled with awe. As they picked themselves up and dusted themselves off, they knew they had narrowly escaped death. But the Hulk was still out there, somewhere, his green eyes still glowing brightly with rage. We need to get out of here before he comes back, Moxie said, glancing around nervously. With that, the I.M.P. crew hurried out of the wreckage, their hearts pounding in their chests. They knew that they had faced a force unlike anything they had ever encountered before, and they were lucky to have survived. As they made their way back to their headquarters, they couldn't help but wonder what other dangers awaited them in the future. The world was a dangerous place, filled with all manner of monsters and demons. But one thing was for certain, the I.M.P. crew would always be ready to fight back, no matter what. And maybe, just maybe, they would one day be able to defeat even the likes of the Hulk. Words. As the smoke began to dissipate in the room, the members of I.M.P. crew from the animated show Helluva Boss could hardly believe their eyes as the hulking figure of Hulk emerged from the haze. His green, glowing eyes seemed to pierce right through them as he let out a low growl. Blitzo, the leader of the group, stepped forward, ready to take on the unexpected opponent. All right, big guy, looks like we have a little brawl on our hands, he said, cracking his knuckles. Hulk's expression darkened as he flexed his massive muscles, clearly ready for a fight. Hulk smash. He roared, charging towards the I.M.P. crew with incredible speed. Moxie, the sharpshooter of the group, quickly pulled out his gun and began firing at Hulk, but the bullets seemed to bounce harmlessly off his impenetrable skin. Mox, that's not gonna work. Millie, the demolition expert, yelled as she grabbed a stick of dynamite and tossed it at Hulk's feet. The explosive went off with a deafening bang, sending Hulk stumbling backwards, but he quickly regained his balance and let out a furious roar. His green eyes began to glow brighter than ever as he started to charge up his gamma-powered thunderclap. As the room shook with the energy building within him, Stolas, the resident spellcaster of I.M.P., stepped forward. I'll try to disrupt his gamma energy with a spell. He shouted, waving his hands in intricate patterns. But before he could cast the spell, Hulk unleashed a massively oversized shockwave from his thunderclap that completely obliterated the building around them. The I.M.P. crew was sent flying through the air, their bodies battered and broken. As they struggled to get back on their feet, they could only watch in horror as Hulk continued to emit his high-energy gamma-powered clap, unleashing explosive energy that turned the building into a fiery inferno. Guys, we need to come up with a plan fast. Blitzo shouted, trying to rally his team. But Hulk showed no mercy as he unleashed his explosive claps, each one packing the power of a nuclear bomb. The I.M.P. crew fought valiantly, using every trick and weapon at their disposal, but it was clear that they were outmatched. In a last-ditch effort, Moxie pulled out a smoke grenade and threw it at Hulk, hoping to disorient him. As the smoke filled the room, the crew made a desperate escape, running for their lives as the building collapsed behind them. As they emerged into the open air, battered and bruised but alive, they could only watch as Hulk's furious roar echoed in the distance. They knew that they had narrowly escaped death, and that they would need to be stronger and smarter if they ever dared to face him again. And so, the I.M.P. crew regrouped, knowing that their next battle would be their greatest challenge yet. As they walked into the sunset, they knew that they were destined for more thrilling and dangerous adventures ahead. Words, 500. As the smoke cleared in the room, the I.M.P. crew found themselves face to face with the behemoth known as Hulk. His green eyes glowed with an intense rage as he loomed over them, ready to unleash his gamma-fueled power. Blitzo, the leader of the crew, tried to reason with Hulk. Hey big guy, we don't want any trouble. Let's talk this out like civilized demons, okay? But Hulk was beyond reason. With a roar, he charged at them, fists clenched and ready to strike. Hulk smash. He bellowed. Moxie, the sharpshooter of the group, fired off a round of bullets at Hulk, but they bounced off his impenetrable skin like rubber. Oh no, he's too strong. She cried out in fear. Millie, the muscle of the crew, stepped forward, her claws gleaming in the dim light of the room. I'll take him down, just give me a clear shot. She shouted, ready to pounce. Suddenly, Hulk's green eyes began to glow brighter than ever before. He raised his massive hands in the air and started to charge up his gamma-powered thunderclap. The room trembled with the buildup of energy, sending shivers down the I.M.P. crew's spines. Stolas, the powerful demon prince who had joined the crew on this mission, stepped forward with a look of determination in his eyes. We must stand together and face this threat head-on. We cannot let Hulk destroy us without a fight. Just as Hulk unleashed his gamma clap, a blinding light filled the room as the shockwaves from his blast engulfed the entire building. The walls crumbled, the floors buckled, and the ceiling rained down debris as the explosion rocked the very foundation of the structure. The I.M.P. crew found themselves thrown against the walls, struggling to stay on their feet amidst the chaos. Blitzo clutched his chest, gasping for breath, as the dust settled around them. Is everyone okay? He called out, trying to assess the damage. Moxie groaned as she got up, rubbing her head. I think I'm okay. That was too close for comfort. Millie flexed her muscles, checking for injuries. I've had worse, but we need to take down Hulk before he brings down the entire building on us. Stolas nodded in agreement, his wings spreading out behind him. Let us regroup and come up with a plan. We cannot let Hulk defeat us so easily. As the dust cleared, Hulk stood tall, his green eyes burning with a fierce intensity. He let out another roar, ready to finish what he started. Hulk destroy. Hulk smash puny demons. The I.M.P. crew gathered their strength, ready to face this formidable opponent head-on. With a battle cry, they charged at Hulk, determined to take him down no matter the cost. The room echoed with the sound of clashing fists, the crackle of energy, and the roar of rage as the two sides clashed in a battle of epic proportions. The walls shook, the floor trembled, and the air crackled with tension as the fight raged on. In the end, only one would emerge victorious. And as the dust settled and the smoke cleared, the fate of the I.M.P. crew hung in the balance as they faced their greatest challenge yet. Words, 547. Inside the building, the I.M.P. crew, led by Luna, were using their unique abilities to fight off their opponents. They were a force to be reckoned with, taking down anyone who dared to stand in their way. Suddenly, a strange fog rolled in, and out of the smoke emerged the Hulk from Marvel. His green eyes glowed with rage as he surveyed the scene before him. Without a word, he charged at the I.M.P. crew, ready to crush them with his immense strength. What the hell is that thing? Luna exclaimed, her eyes widening in shock. It's the Hulk. We need to take him down fast, Blitzo shouted, summoning his weapons. The I.M.P. crew fought with all their might, but the Hulk only seemed to get stronger as he absorbed their attacks. With a roar, he unleashed his full-power gamma clap, causing the entire building to explode into fireballs. As the dust settled, the I.M.P. crew lay scattered across the wreckage, no match for the overwhelming power of the Hulk. We couldn't stop him, Moxie gasped, struggling to catch his breath. He's too strong, Millie whispered, her eyes filled with fear. The Hulk stood victorious, his eyes glowing with triumph as he surveyed the destruction he had wrought. As the last member of the I.M.P. crew fell, a sense of dread filled the air. The Hulk had won, leaving no one alive to tell the tale of their defeat. And with that, the Hulk turned and vanished into the night, leaving nothing but destruction in his wake.